your company and Open Origins and what you do to some of the guys in the office who are quite techie guys, right? And there was this idea of provenance, which I think to lots of people who might be listening or watching, provenance is quite an abstract word, but it's all to do with sort of the origins of a photo, a piece of media. And you sort of mentioned like, we can go back and we can look at the camera that a photo was taken on. And one of the techie guys was like, well, what's to stop me from generating an AI picture and then taking a photo of it with my camera? And then that's now an authentic piece of media. What would you say to that?
I mean, that was the very first attack that we thought of once we started designing the system.
Yeah.
And so our answer is, when you're using secure sourcing, we actually create a 3D depth map of whatever is in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So if a citizen journalist is using our application to prove what they're seeing, and they hit the camera button, it's not taking one photo. We're taking a composite of like 100 photos taken over a 1 second span. We're recording how the phone moved. The phone always moves, microscopic ways because human hand isn't perfectly stable. And we're recording all of those different perspectives. Modern phones also have multiple cameras at the back. And all of those give me a different perspective on the scene in front. This is called photogrammetry. So you take all of those images, 100 images.
And sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
but how do you get, so if you're looking at one image, how do you get the 100 images? Am I
Yeah, so you're
what
not
am I
looking at
missing?
just the one image, right?
No.
So I have my phone.
Yes.
I've got an application installed on this,
Yeah.
the Open Origins application. And when I take a photo, the app is actually taking multiple photos. It's not taking one photo, right? So it's taking a photo from this camera, this camera, this camera, and then it's stitching it together into a 3D scene. So, when your colleague said, what if he took a photo of a photo? This technique will be able to distinguish between a flat surface, like a screen, versus a curved surface like my face, right? So there would be a tangible, provable difference between a photo of my face versus a photo of my face.
That's really interesting. So you sort of, because you mentioned that you want to prove realness rather than detect fakes. And I'm really interested in that because, deep fake detection has been described as an arms race. And so why is it you think, what's wrong with detecting fakes? Why shouldn't we be doing that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard-earned lesson, right? As I said, I was in the deepfake detection space during my PhD. I made deepfake detectors, and it's a really fun arms race. Like it's a wonderful technical challenge. There's a lot of creativity, but it's not a sustainable solution. You can't have democracy's fate depend on whether you're winning this technical arms race this quarter or not. You need a more sustainable, more permanent solution. And also, we're just running out of quirks. These quirks that deepfake detectors use to distinguish between real and fake. We're kind of running out of those. So, yes, we're in that gray area right now where some deepfake detectors for videos do work, but we're soon going to run out of that, and we'll be well and truly into the territory of perfect indistinguishability.
Yeah, because it's sort of interesting talking about, we talk about deepfake detection and the real world implications of these are, 2024 was one of the biggest years of election interference globally that we've ever had. And something I'm kind of interested in with your work with Open Origins is you're interested in historic content, not just future proofing. So can you tell us a bit more about what do you mean by historic content? Is that like the 1920s? Is that yesterday? What does that mean?
All of it. So we have a decent answer for content that's going to be created in the future. This application as an example, right? If I have that software installed on the camera, then I can prove that a photo taken today or in the future is real. But there is the question of, well, what do we do with all of the content that exists in media archives, dating back 100 years? If CNN has a speech of Obama from 2008, how does CNN prove that their version is the real one and not the one that someone generated on Sora yesterday? Those look visually identical.
And does this come into you're working with ITN, the news broadcaster? Is that part of what you're working? Can you
Yeah,
sort
yeah,
of
exactly. So
make the link for us?
just for the context for your audience, ITN is the sort of video production house behind Channel 4, ITV News, etc. They have the second largest news video archive in the UK behind the BBC. And they have a very forward-thinking team, and they realize that there is this problem that basically their entire value depends on people being able to trust the archival footage they have. And the value of Channel 4 news segment comes from the fact that you trust that the stuff being shown on screen is real. Well, Channel 4 trust is because ITV says it's trustworthy. But what if an attacker got into an adversary, a hacker, got into ITV or ITN's servers and, just injected a few synthetic videos in there? There is a 2008 speech by Obama. There is a 2008 speech star by Obama. Those would look indistinguishable to anyone looking into the archive. That completely devalues the trust in the entire archive, and that was an existential threat to an institution like ITN. It's an existential threat to all news organizations, really.
And how much do you think we're thinking about this